Hey everybody, I'm back, and today I'm going to be talking about all of the books that I read in February. Well, not all of them, but I'm going to say a fair number of them. As you can see, they are right here beside me. This shot doesn't really go all the way down to the floor, but you should know that I'm about 5'9", 5'10", and this stack of books comes up to my elbow. So, yeah, I'm going to try to talk a little bit about them. Just a little bit, or we'll be here all night. Alright, so a little background on the giant stack of books that I read in February. I think I mentioned it before in my January wrap-up, but I am part of a new I am on a committee for a new graphic novel award called the Excellence in Graphic Literature Awards that is done in conjunction with Denver Comic-Con and Pop Culture Classroom. So this is our inaugural year, and we're trying to kind of get our feet under us and figure out what we're doing, which meant that we had to do a lot of reading in a very short amount of time, which is not ideal, but if you've got to do it, you've got to do it. So that is the giant stack of books. They are all graphic novels that I read in February, which, you know, is the shortest month of the year, so of course that's when you need to read the most books. Yeah. Our nominations for the list are going to go live on March 5th, so depending on when this video gets edited by our lovely Lisa, it should be around this time. So if it is, we'll put a link up, or below rather, and you can check out what our actual choices were. I'm going to show you all of the books that I read, for the most part the ones that I've still got here at home, and I will pause and talk for a couple seconds on my very favorite ones. I'm not saying that they're the ones that will make the list, because no spoilers, but I mean, there were a lot that I liked anyways, and I could only pick 5 in fiction and 5 in nonfiction, so that was kind of difficult. Anyways, here we go. So, Flintstones, the new Flintstones. I am going to talk about this one by Mark Russell and Steve Pugh. I kept hearing good things about this book and was still skeptical because, I mean, yeah, sure, I liked the Flintstones, but I was not expecting kind of the really biting satire and take down of our own culture through the eye of the world of the Flintstones. And it made me want to go back and watch the cartoon, because maybe I was missing all sorts of other messaging, you know, being a little kid watching a cartoon. God Country, probably not in my top 10 because there were a whole bunch of books, but had some really funny kind of Texas humor. So if you're from Texas, if you know anything about Texas history, kind of funny. If you've ever dealt with Alzheimer's, it was a little difficult. This one I love. It's a nonfiction memoir / autobiography of a woman's journey to understand herself and her place in the world as someone who could or could not have children, and the decision whether or not to have kids, kind of how society expects women to behave and the roles that they expect them to fulfill, and whether or not it is important to fulfill those roles. A topic very close to my heart. Taking turns, I was not expecting to love. The art is really simplistic, almost like Dilbert-esque, and I'm not a huge Dilbert fan, but it's a nurse's story from her time in an AIDS unit during the AIDS crisis, which is a very infrequently talked about event in our history, and it's treated with love and respect, and it was just really, really good. Doom Patrol, which I have not read very much of, and I was worried because I know that it's kind of a long-running series, but this was a really interesting way to kind of meet all these characters, and I ended up really liking it, and the art is awesome. Really good. Oh, I have to set this aside for somebody. This book, y'all. This book! Was that enough? That's all you need to know, right? Definitely one of the best books of the year. I know it's February. No, it's March. Huh, it's March. What can I show you that's, you know, safe for work? Yeah. This, I don't know, the camera's not gonna do it justice. You have to see this in person. My favorite thing is monsters. Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. Even better. So good. So good. And it's wordless, and it's so beautiful, and it's about a park bench. It's about a park bench, and it's so good. Beautiful. Confusing if you haven't read anything else in the series. Okay, I sincerely think that anything either of the Tamaki cousins touch is great. This book included. It's a bunch of short stories that range from not the mundane, but the like realistic to the very strange. Super good. No. Strange. But interesting. I didn't think I'd like it at all. Ended up liking it. Fair amount. Relatable. Cute. But you know what happens at the end of every dog book. Huge. It comes with a ribbon bookmark, so you know that you are getting into something epic. Based on a true story, it's based on a true story, and I was not expecting to like this, and it was amazing. Amazing. A young man finds out that his father, who he's lived with since he was 10, he finds out when he gets in trouble with the law that his dad has been lying to him his whole life about the reason for his blindness, and he finds out that his father did time himself and roomed with a very famous murderer when he was in prison. And yeah, it is fascinating. I really loved this one. It was a really neat perspective and take on illness, in this case epilepsy, and kind of how that affects a life, and the way that it's kind of personified and drawn is really, really good. So good. I love the art in this book so much. It's about Mama Cass from the Mamas and the Papas before the Mamas and the Papas kind of hit it really big, and she was such a neat character. Even if you do know how she dies, it feels kind of sad. But the art is so great. I love this artist. Who knew the Egyptian gods were so hilarious? They were messed up. And this book just, as you can see here on the cover, really points that out. Based on a true story, claustrophobic, epic. So it's about a man who's taken hostage in Chechnya in the 90s and his kind of journey to escaping and getting back to his real life. This book is so weird. It's so weird and minimal, like minimalistic and surreal, but very real at the same time. And I want to reread it. So good. This is a manga that is about a single father and his daughter, and they are suddenly visited by a man who claims to be the husband of his brother who has passed away. They were estranged after his brother came out and moved to Canada, and his brother has passed away, and now his husband, who is a big fan of Japanese culture, has come to kind of connect with his family and learn about his home country. So it's a, you know, a kind of a fish out of water tale, but it's also like a meditation on the stigmas against homosexuality in Japan, which is really interesting. Okay, this book I did not see coming. Jeff Lemire, obviously amazing, but this book is stark and it is upsetting, but I loved it. This is easily one of the best books I'm gonna read this year. It is another memoir, and it is the very first graphic novel that this person has ever written. It is a memoir of the author's parents and their move from Vietnam to the United States. I don't have the words to describe how good it is, so you should go out and read it. That would be a gift you should give yourself. Yeah, the last of these are the ones that I talked about in my January one. That's not too many, right? That doesn't seem like a lot of books. No. Those are my February graphic novels that I read. You should keep an eye out for the Excellence in Graphic Literature Awards videos that will go live on March 5th. We have a special host. Her name's Jenny Hull. Yeah, that's right. Jenny Hull. So that's exciting. And yeah, and you can find out who won. We have the awards will go across children's, young adult, and adult subjects. I'm obviously in the adult committee. We'll have best fiction, best nonfiction. We will have a mosaic award that is for kind of diverse titles by diverse authors. And we will have the book of the year across all ages and genres. It'll be great. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Make sure you do all those nice things you can do on YouTube, like this video, comment below if you read more graphic novels than I did this month. Unless you're on my committee, I don't know why you would. You should share this video and subscribe if you haven't already. So, I hope you have a good day, a good evening. I hope you are happy, I hope you are safe, and I hope you have a good book to read. Stacked up underneath the tripod and they fell over.